Hey everybody, welcome back to the Midas Letter. We're live here today with Dooma Wendschuh, who's the CEO of Province Brands, which is threatening to become the first cannabis brewery in the world. Dooma, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here, an honor to be back with you.
You bet, you bet. So let's start the conversation with the big news that you had recently, which was a major investment from Cannabis Wheaton Corp. And what is the nature of that investment? What's it going to do for you? Where's it going to put Province Brands in a year?
Well, you said we were threatening to become the world's first cannabis brewery. I think that threat is a lot closer to reality now. We closed a transaction with Cannabis Wheaton in which they did actually invest $500,000 worth of their shares in our company. Okay. And at the same time, we gave them a 10% stake in our company in exchange for a lot of great things, but most importantly, the licensure that will cover the world's first cannabis brewery. And this arrangement, we couldn't be happier to be doing this with Cannabis Wheaton, because I think if you look at what's happening in the cannabis industry now, we're seeing a shift away from the cannabis as a commodity, right, and more towards these branded products. And a lot of these licensed producers who have relied on the high commodity price of cannabis to stay in business are going to be in trouble when that price falls. And you look at a company like Cannabis Wheaton with incredible leadership, Chuck Raffici, Hugo Alves, these guys will still be standing when the dust settles. And we couldn't imagine a better partner as we move forward. Yeah,
sure. Okay, so how much is it going to cost to build your brewery, and where are you going to build it?
It's going to be within an hour of Ontario, about an hour 15 minutes at the farthest, depending on traffic. And the brewery is going to cost about $50 million in plant and equipment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and how much beer are you going to be able to brew?
175,500 hectoliters per year of the world's first beer brewed from the cannabis plant.
Wow.
Yeah, and we will make some beers that are going to be alcohol-free and intoxicate using marijuana or its phytocannabinoids.
Right.
These beers will be designed to have a lot of the same benefits and effects as alcohol. In particular, the dose-response curve of our beers will mimic that of alcohol. They'll hit you as quickly as alcohol, leave your system as quickly as alcohol. But also from that same facility, if allowed by law in Canada, we will also produce an alcohol beverage that is made from a different type of cannabis. It's made from hemp instead of marijuana. Okay. It's a 6.5% ABV Imperial Pilsner. We've been brewing it so far, and it just tastes delicious.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to be looking forward to
You've had it, haven't you?
I did try your beer, and it was fantastic. I mean, I got to say, I'm really excited about it.
I don't know if you tried that one, though.
Now, what about the legality of the cannabis beer? Like, where does that stand now, and how soon do you see that becoming, a consumer-available product?
It is imminent. And what happened was we started this company in 2016, and we were really kind of the black sheep of the Canadian cannabis industry. We would go to these meetings, tell them we had this patent pending process for brewing a beer from the cannabis plant, and people would say, well, that's great, but Canada was the first country to legalize medical marijuana in 2001, and in all that time they've never allowed beverages. What makes you think that they are going to start anytime soon? And
exactly.
It was on everybody's mind, certainly mine, because I'd put my entire life into starting this company. And then in October of 2017, the government announced that edibles and beverages will be legal in 2019. And just right after that, a few days later, the first Fortune 500 company to invest in the cannabis industry was not a pharmaceutical company or a tobacco company like everyone expected, but was $43 billion giant alcohol company, Constellation Brands, makers of Corona. And that really changed the space and changed the layout. So now we know that beverages will be legal in Canada. We know that they will be legal within 1 year of marijuana legalization, which we all hope is going to be September. Sure. at the latest. And we know that our beers will be on the shelves when it becomes legal.
That is so exciting. So then, what is the price point going to be, or do you have any idea what the economics are going to look like yet?
We have a lot of flexibility. Our raw materials for brewing this beer, in a normal brewery, they would use barley, lots and lots of barley, tons of barley. Barley's pretty cheap. It's about $110 per metric ton. Oh. Now, people are thinking, how are you going to brew a beer from cannabis because it costs $3,000 a pound?
Exactly.
But in fact, the parts of the cannabis plant that we use to brew our beer are the waste stream from the industry. We take the stalks, the stems, and the roots of the cannabis plant, parts of the plant that these growers have no use for, in which they have to have a licensed disposal company come and take off their facility many times. So our costs are relatively low as well. This enables us to be price competitive with other beers if we choose to, but the reality is we don't have to. And if you look in the United States and in Europe, single-serving 12-ounce marijuana beverages, which are sold in those jurisdictions, now they're not beers. They're typically soda pops, and they're selling for $12 to $15 per 12-ounce serving. So we're still figuring out pricing, but we could offer a lower cost product to compete with alcohol, or we could offer a higher cost product, which is similar to what the marijuana products in the United States and Europe are selling for. But in either case, we're going to be at the very top end of the premium spectrum for beers. I mean, we make a luxury product. It's very high end, and there's so much quality craftsmanship that goes into what we make. So we're not competing with the cheap stuff.
Sure. So will the relationship with Cannabis Wheaton accelerate your go public strategy?
It certainly has.
Okay. He says with a twinkle in his eye.
There's going to be a lot of news about a go public strategy for Province coming out very soon, which we're really excited about. It's taken us about a year of sort of researching and figuring out how we wanted to best go public, what exchange, and what milestones we had to hit in order to be a viable traded stock on any exchange. And the Cannabis Wheaton transaction was a tremendous help with that, not just because of the fact that it will effectively guarantee Province licensed producer license, but also because of the caliber and the quality of the people at Wheaton that we're working with. And being associated with folks like Hugo and Chuck and the entire team there, Michael Lickver, it's phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dooma, that's so exciting. Congratulations on your success and your deal so far. We're very excited to follow the progress of Province Brands, and we'll come back to you in a quarter's time or two or so and see how you're making out. Thanks for coming in.
It's an honor. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.